Jaleel, thank you very much for taking your time. It's actually been a while since we last chatted. Now you're the new LFA Welterweight Champion. How's the past week been, man? I mean, what's the reactions been?
Man, it's been overwhelming. Just the support that I've been getting from not only Memphis, but everybody just who has been following my career, and just I feel like I literally brought home a Super Bowl.
Well, let's talk about that fight. It was an exciting fight. It was back and forth from first round to fifth round.
Mhm.
With Vinicius, both of you guys have a strong grappling. You have wrestling. He's a jiu-jitsu background. Did you anticipate it was going to be a stand-up fight, or did you think at some point it would go to the ground?
Yeah, I knew it was gonna be, like a battle of, stand up, just to start out. But I really was planning on him to shoot, and that was my plan in general, was to, just to pressure him so much and outpoint him with my boxing and just other ways with striking, to where it forced him to shoot in, and I felt like that was going to be a lot of where my takedowns was going to come from. Like once he got to see like the sprawls and the back takes and stuff like that, and just kind of weren't, just thought I was going to be able to work it from there. You know what I mean? Because I was confident in my takedown defense. You know what I mean? So I was really looking for him to shoot, because I know he got a real strong shot, and I've seen him take down, very high level wrestlers before. So I figure I know he's not going to be shy about shooting on me. You know what I mean? If he sees the opening, but he seemed like he's very determined to show me that his stand up was just as crisp. You know what I mean?
Well, and your boxing was very crisp throughout this fight. How much did you spend? Because I know you train with a lot of high pro boxers there.
Hmm.
How much did you focus on boxing? I know he mixed it up a lot more with the kicks, but your hands right down the middle.
Man, it's crazy. I actually just kept my routine normal. You know what I mean? It's like the only thing that we switched up different was we was quarantined with Resendo. You know what I mean? And that helped, like, me clean up some areas that I wasn't even aware of. And so that's, I guess you can say, that's what we did different. You know what I mean? It's like being quarantined with him, and how just like having those old school, just like boxing moments, and having to actually break down what we was doing and be told as pros, like, these are basic shit that we missing, that we
Mhm.
could potentially do, that could mess us up, bring us out.
Mhm.
But what I mean, it's like, I, I guess that's what it was. I mean, just being able to work with him, and just have that knowledge right there. But other than that, everything was normal. My training partners was normal. You know what I mean? It's like we all the boxers in the area. It's like I helped them get ready for their fights. They helped me get ready for mine. So we all stay connected.
Talk about that week of heading out there to Sioux Falls. What was just kind of going through your mind? Obviously, we're at different times right now, and going in during a pandemic and fighting, and then with no crowd, no fans. What was going through your mind leading up to that night?
I was excited about it not being a crowd, without no fans and stuff like that, because I knew that neither one of us would be able to have that to kind of feed off of,
Mhm.
or like, for me, sometimes that crowd can be somewhat of a distraction, and sometimes I can hear certain people saying stuff in the crowd, and I'm like, I want to react. You know what I mean? It's
Mhm.
like, or it shells me up because of what's going on, and I'm feeling like people saying stuff I'm not saying. But once I just kind of realized, I'm like, man, it'd be like an old wrestling match. You know what I mean? High school
Yeah.
gym. It's like,
Yeah, I wrestled
I,
in high school. I was going to ask you, like, what was is like those Tuesday, Wednesday night matches where it's in the small
right,
gym. You don't get the big basketballs going on, so you get the little
yeah.
small gym.
Yeah, so I'm like, that was gonna be normal. It's like, and I'm like, so I was excited about being able to hear, you know, um, like my coaches and stuff like that. And that was another deal. It's like, I wasn't able to bring my like my full core group of coaches. It's like it's usually Andy, Eric, and Zach Underwood with me, but with the whole, just like COVID situations and stuff like that, they have to, make sure they look out for, their families and, so they have to help me as much as they can here in Memphis get ready and trusted me to, go out there and implement the game plans. And I was like, man, if my coaches are able to trust me and, trust, us as like as a team to go out here and take care of it, I was like, I should be able to do the same. So that was another thing that was kind of like a relief off, because Zach and Andy, it's like, I really look up to them a lot. So it's like, it's kind of like a little pressure, when I got them like right there in the corner too. And I want to, it's like, I don't want to like do anything wrong. You know what I mean? It's like, I want to have like a perfect fight, because I know that's what we, came prepared for. And, I mean, it's like, so that helped, like knowing I'm like, so I won't have like that pressure right there, like having to, really just like feel like I'm gonna let them down if like something was to happen, go wrong like that. So I just was kind of counting up everything. Like, this is all taking me back to just like high school wrestling of like, having to be there and work with, essentially like, my teammates, you know what I mean? It's like us having to step up and, be there for each other. And it felt pretty good too, because I trusted the, my coaches that I did have who was able to guide me, because they was two training partners, you know what I mean? So I felt like not only were they knowledgeable of what's going on, but they also know me as a person and as a fighter, So I'm like, they cool with, okay, this is what Jalil's doing. This is how his body's moving right here. Either that guy's stronger right here, or Jaleel feels something that he, can implement right, in this area. And they give me room to work, but they'll still, keep me like crisp, keep me sharp, lets me know what's going on. So I was excited about having Trey and Kevin in my corner too. You know what I mean?
And I've heard fighters talk about how they can hear their corner a lot clearer. Did that kind of, you felt, work to your advantage as well?
Yeah, it was perfect. It was just like a sparring session. You know what I mean? It's like we trained that all the way up, to like, once we got word how we was gonna be fighting, we instantly every day at practice like simulated that fight. Like, so no matter where I was at, I was listening for, like my coaches giving me, what I mean, the game plans. And, once we was training and stuff like that, it was pretty, it was like the main focus was whatever, whatever cadences we, thought of, we had to, continuously go with it and, not, shy away and not like jump on it right away. You know what I mean? It's like, so we had to like kind of code it different just a bit, but other than that, it was like we was well prepared to go inside there and like treat it just like another sparring day.
Yeah, and I wanted to know that without the crowd, like his corner as well, like, okay, got to code things a little bit, because you can kind of hear his corner, he can hear your corner. So was there ever a little bit, maybe not so much hesitance, but like, oh, I got to be really careful how I'm, approaching this fight in the sense by step, because they can hear me, they can hear my corner, make sure no codes are obvious.
Exactly. And we knew that they would have the upper hand on us right there, because they're they're bilingual, you know what I mean? So they were speaking, I believe, in Portuguese, so I couldn't understand, what was going on. So they was able to communicate clearly. And, Vinicius, I could hear him. He was able to talk back to his dad clearly. And it's like they was completely there and in sync. But at the same time, we was as well, because of the cadence that we had were they was broken down into numbers, but it's not the numbers that the basic boxers know, and the basic 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like we had them almost kind of cadenced out to where we it was like our daily drills. We just put a couple of number codes in there, and we kept it basic. We didn't overload me with a bunch of different ones. We had Trey. He picked out the ones that he seen me work well at the gym, and that he felt would work well against Vinicius, and we was able to just go with our just small package. And once we seen it working too, we tweaked it just a little bit during the fight, but other than that, it was more so of like we was like almost like we was over prepared, to where we kind of had to dial back a little bit and go like, all right, so this is like, what I mean, like we here and we don't have to overthink this, what I mean? It's like, let's chill and let's just get through this next round,
You landed also a very beautiful front kick as well. How much of kickboxing went into your training camp as well?
That's like my normal everyday, arsenal right there. What I mean? It's like when I'm at the gym, we using both feet, elbows, knees, jump knees, like whatever I can throw, because I'm comfortable and I'm at the gym. And I got it's like, I train with some pretty high level kickboxers as well, So that being said, I was very confident in, what I could land, and I knew like what was like, was comfortable for me. But we initially went into this fight going, we're not going to do much kicking because of, how good he is at shooting, what I mean, how good he is at getting the takedown off the shot. But once we got there, we, Trey, we looked at a little bit more film, and we were just kind of feeling like, it's like, man, I don't think, we should shy away from these kicks, it's like, because he's pretty kick heavy, but at the same time, like, it's not something I haven't seen before, It's like, and his shots would be there, but at the same time, like, my scrambles would be there as well, So we just kind of like, let's not switch it up. Let's keep it going, and let's just pop back on.
So definitely no worry about throwing that front, because, sometimes that could be, it either lands or it can, set up for maybe a high single right there, depending on who you're facing. Very back and forth. Now you got the title. What are you looking to do next? Are you hoping for that UFC call, or do you want to defend the LFA title?
Oh, I'm really hoping, to go to the UFC. Like, that's my next challenge. I feel like, it's like I want to fight the best in the world. I want to be able to compete against the best in the world. So I feel the UFC will be the next platform for me. And, it's not like it's a long time coming, something like that, but it's like, I feel like that's mostly where I should be, what I mean? It's like where I could showcase like me growing and adapting from, from like what I've had to grow and adapt with LFA,
And you're now on I believe a 4-fight winning streak, correct?
Yes, sir.
4-fight winning streak. And what's your thoughts about the current, looking just a little bit ahead, the UFC welterweight division? What are you thinking about now? And possibly you get that call up, those possible matchups for you.
Well, it's like I'm more so would like to fight at lightweight, what I mean? It's like, but I'm also,
that's an exciting division right now. I mean, that's big.
Yeah. It's like, so, what I mean? It's like, I'm more so just, scout both divisions and just peep out all the contenders coming through, the contender series, like all the LFA vets that's popping in. And it's like, so I'm more so just like looking at how a lot of these guys are adapting, and they are having to, either, dial back a little bit, and it's like, either calm down and stay more composed in certain fights. It's like, or they're like, you know, um, I guess it's like they're doing more training, you know, focusing more. It's like on just trying to be more consistent, you know what I mean? It's like, but I don't know. It's like me, I would like to fight at welterweight, you know. It's like if that's why I get the phone call it because it's only like a 7 pound cut for me, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's like, but me, truthfully, I would like to see myself, you know what I mean, in the lightweight division in the UFC.
Do you like to kind of stay a little bit light, just in between like training camps and that, just because you never know?
Yep. No. So I never know. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I'm always like, I know welterweight is the main go-to for, you know, for like people whenever they call me. So I just stay around, you know what I mean, like 180, 177.
Mhm.
And, you know, so it's really like a 7 pound cut. You know what I mean? It's like, and even if like they need me for lightweight, I can make that, you know, as well.
Well, like, like last night was Neil Magny, Robbie Lawler, last minute matchup
Hmm.
for Neil Magny. You just never know, especially during these times,
Right.
when they're going to need somebody. And speaking of that, before your fight at LFA, I had Jimmy Flick on here and I asked him, because both of you have fought now for LFA during this pandemic and just in general
Hmm.
during this pandemic. Was there ever a worry back in March that it may be quite some time before you step back into the cage?
Yeah, yeah, it was for me. Like, because I literally fought 1 week before the worldwide shutdown, you know,
Hmm.
and so I was kind of, you know, lucky on that end, but at the same time, I knew that I was like, man, I don't know what's up with these fights. Probably gonna have to go back on the regional circuit because that was the only thing that seemed like that there was going to be a guarantee to open
Hmm.
back up. And you know, I mean, I was just getting ready for that to, you know, go fight at middleweight. You know what I mean? Like fight on a regional platform, fight at middleweight because I'm, you know, like that's what I did back in March. You know, so I fought on SLC and fought one of the top middleweights out here because I'm like, I'm not cutting weight at all. So yep. You know, I mean, that's what I was thinking about. You know, so I was gonna be back here on the circuit, but either way, it was cool with me because I like, you know, competing and just being out there.
Well, you mentioned your teammates too that boxed. How's everything going with them as far as finding fights? Are they still kind of on pause as well, or have they been able to find? I know, ESPN has had some fights
Mhm.
on, but I was just wondering, nationally where that, and even in Tennessee where that's going.
Oh, it's like we got cards going on
Yeah.
out here. You know, what I mean, it's like it's mostly kind of down in Mississippi. You know, it's like it looks like a few, like a bunch of our guys are able to get fights on like CFFC. You know what I mean? It's like some of them being SLC. You know, it's like it seems like, you know, as far as like on the regional circuit, we able to stay active and a lot of the guys is able to stay on, and it's looking like even in the boxing community, they're able to, you know, still get fights and make things happen. Like I know a card just happened here recently over the weekend. You know, it was pretty good. A lot of boxers in the area was able to get on, so it's looking like the fight community is still staying, staying up and running.
Well, thankful for, with the UFC just taking a shot at like adapting and doing things safely, because I feel like now that's really given other promotions, some hope of coming
Yeah.
back in even an adaptive way. How soon, if you do get that call, how soon would you like to get back in there?
Well, I mean, I'm ready to go. You know, I mean, it's like I went to the doctor, got everything checked out, nothing broken. So it's literally just some minor bruises that's
Mhm.
like can be fixed with some ice. Swelling is going down. I was like, I'm ready to go. So like, whenever they give me the call, you know, it's like my weight is still good. It's like, you know, so 100% just like whenever they call me, I would like to fight, you know, next week. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? It's like
Well,
they
you
hit
never know.
me
You
up.
might get that call. You might get
That's
that.
what I'm
The
saying.
way
You
things
know,
are
it's
going,
like,
you may get that quick call.
and I'm saying it, you know, it's actually happening like that. So
Mhm.
that's why I like. straight up, like, usually I don't really go rush to the doctor or nothing like that. It's like right after the fight, as soon as I touch down in Memphis, man, that night I'm like in the ER trying to make sure, let's get X-ray here, X-rays there, and they let me know everything was good to go, and just keep ice with you. And I was like, man, it's perfect. You know what I mean? It's like almost like it's just like another wrestling tournament.
Yeah, those wrestling tournaments, so the back and forth. Sometimes you'll have
Yeah.
that duel during the week, and then that whole tournament that weekend.
So that's what I'm trying to look at it now,
yeah.
especially with times like this. Like I'm looking at Sean O'Malley and stuff, and I was like, man, well, he can do it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he's making it happen. He out there fighting like consistently, and saying, man, I can't never get his name, but my guy, with coconut bombs. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yes, yeah. He just fought last night. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think if I'm not mistaken, I think they might have fought a couple of times like this
He
year
fought
already,
this summer.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he fought this summer, and then he was I think it was back in June or July. No, in June he fought. So
Yeah. So I was like, he like I'm saying, I'm saying he's supposed to be active. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I'm trying to be like them, like take care of my body and be able to step up when that phone call come.
Well, and just once again, not to be broken rip, but with everything going on, you just never know when the next card, and so trying to get as much time in, as you can while the year. Now, when you're away from fighting, I love Memphis. I'm not just saying that because Memphis is one of my favorite cities. I was there this summer. My sister's husband's family lives in Memphis, so I got to enjoy some good Memphis barbecue there. Corky's, I think that they had to go during that time, but I was at another. I feel bad that I forget the name of this restaurant, but it was so good. It was open. It was great. But I love
Central Barbecue.
That might have been it. I'm trying to think of the street that it was on, but they had the full meat platter, and man, my eyes were bigger than my stomach.
It was, man, it had to been Rendezvous or or Central Barbecue.
It probably was Central. Central sounds more closer to that, because I think we went over because Corky's is always like a go-to, but I think they were only doing to go, not sit in. So yeah, we went over there, and I was like, I did the full plate. I had like turkey, brisket. I had the mac and cheese. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is barbecue Thanksgiving. And had to make a stop at Perkins. Perkins over there.
Oh yeah.
No, the food there is great. What do you like to, when you're not having to cut weight or training, what's your go-to cheat meal?
Mine, I'm probably like most Southwest, or some like, mine, probably like some sushi spot. You know what I mean? It's like probably Osaka or something like that. Like
pretty good sushi spot.
Yep, that would be my go-to. It's like, really don't be big on the barbecue, man. It's like, believe it or not, like that's that would be having my heart hurting. It's like, like for real.
Grab
like,
some Tums. Oh, my heart was hurting a little bit after. I won't say that it felt good in the moment, not afterwards.
So I'm like, that Memphis barbecue is been around me my whole life, and I'm just like, I got popped in the mouth one too many times. So it's like, that's like very rare, like cheap meal or not. I'm like, dude, sometimes I don't even go downtown Memphis,
You just avoid all that good food.
Yeah.
Have you been binge watching anything during this time at all? Are you a big movie or TV guy?
I ran across that show Kingdom.
Oh, I've heard good things about it.
Yeah. As I've been kind of on Kingdom and South Park,
Oh yeah, well, South Park's a classic.
It's like
South Park's still going strong. If you need a good break from reality a little bit, even though it kind of mocks reality, South Park.
Yeah.
Well, Netflix has been doing a really good job with a lot of their movies. Extraction is a good one if you haven't seen it with Chris Hemsworth. Project Power with Jamie Foxx. I really enjoyed that one. That one will get you fired up.
I haven't got a chance to watch that one. I sat down a couple times, tried to watch it. So I don't ever really make it through. So my daughter should come in and change the channel or something like that, you know.
Do you, since do you have kids, do you watch Disney Plus? Are you on Disney Plus at all, watching any of the Disney movies?
Yeah, man. It's like, and you know, no, I shouldn't do it. It's like, man, but, you know, it's like I kind of try to swing her to a South Park, you know, some of the like the more family oriented episodes of South Park, you know what I mean? It's
You got
like,
to hunt for them, but they're good.
right,
You got to
right. You
find
know,
them,
it's
but
like you know, it's something in there. It's like those earlier ones, but they was doing a lot of singing. I put it on there, you know. It's like so we'll watch South Park together, or man, Powerpuff Girls and stuff
oh
like
yeah,
that. I just
that's
put it,
still
yeah, put it
classic.
on the classics. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I put it back on the classics, so I won't be, you know, like left out. You know what I mean? It's like, but that's about most of what it is. She was on the Disney Plus, but you know, man, her like boom, 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 something everywhere. It's like, but sometimes she'll, you know, come through and show me movies that I'm like teach me about life, you know. Not it was like,
You're like,
you know, yeah, it was like, cause there's one movie, bro, it's straight up teaching me about my feelings and how each feeling matter and stuff like that.
oh,
I
was
think
that
called
Inside
Inside
Out?
Out.
Was that
Yeah,
Inside Out?
yeah.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
bro, are you serious right now? It's like, how is this like so relatable? But, yeah, so
Hey,
hey,
Pixar
yeah,
knows how to connect. Pixar
yeah.
does it well. Well, I mean, you're a kid of the 90s as well, right? You grew up
Oh
in the
yeah,
90s.
yeah,
So, I
yeah,
mean, if
yeah.
you go on Disney Plus, they have all of our child, they have X-Men, the old X-Men series,
Uh,
Spider-Man
oh,
series. By the way, I found an interesting fact about you. So you were born March 11th, 1992. Is that correct? That's
right, right, right.
my sister's birthday as well, same year, same
I hit
day.
311.
Yeah,
Dang,
and that's my
wow,
dad's birthday too.
dang.
Yeah. I had to throw that out. I was like, oh, that's weird. The world is small. But yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that is pretty small, man. It's like,
Yeah.
sure, they from Memphis. So it's like,
Um, yeah, oh yeah, her husband is, so it all kind of circles, but yeah, that was crazy. I was like, oh man.
yeah,
So I know where I was that day. I was 4 during that year. So I
right.
remember that that day very well. So, but well, Jaleel, I don't want to take too much of your time. I want to thank you again for joining me. Where can people find you, and any things you want to say to your fans out there?
Not much. Just thank you to everybody that's been giving me the constant support. You know what I mean? It's like it's like just training, keep training. You know what I mean? Keep going in, keep grinding. That's what I'm gonna keep doing. You know, so I'm like I appreciate everybody that just motivating me to just keep doing that and supporting me and helping me to where I'm able to just keep doing that. It's like my social media stuff. It's like I got a unique name. You just type in my name on there. You know, it's like whatever social media you look for. Like I think my IG is like J Willis MMA, and Twitter is like J Willis MMA as well. You know, so it's all it's all just right there. You know what I mean? Either J Willis MMA or Jaleel Willis, like whatever you're looking for.
Well, Jaleel, thank you very much, man, and best luck moving forward. Hopefully, you get that call.
Oh yeah, man. I'm shoot. Honestly, bro, I'm pretty confident I will, and I'm gonna be ready. You know.